Hi, Coach. Thanks for taking the
Hey,
time.
you're welcome.
I'm I'm curious with such a collection of veteran talent, and you also have so many dynamic young players. What's your process like in terms of using training camp to kind of figure out like what the best mixtures are on the court?
Well, yeah, it's a process, and what I want to see is high energy and competitiveness. Okay, you know, almost everybody has been in a situation where they haven't been able to, um, play 5-on-5 basketball a whole lot unless they've been playing overseas. If they've been stateside, they're in shape and they're working, but not playing 5-on-5. So that's been a little bit of a challenge. So I think right now I'm looking for, you know, energy, competitiveness, getting in the groove of going up and down and literally playing 5-on-5 basketball. So, we scrimmage the first day, for example, and sometimes it doesn't always look pretty when you got a lot of new faces, and whether they're free agents that are new or rookies that are new. But I still like to get up and down and get the process moving so that we're in a game like fashion right out of the chute. That's what we're looking for. So it's been good. Players have responded well. And, it's been extremely competitive, I would say.
If I could just ask one follow up too, what's the process like scrimmaging essentially on the first day? Who chooses the groups? Who chooses the teams? Is that all the coaches get together and say we'd like to
Yeah.
see these five and
Yeah.
this five?
Yeah. In our practice planning, we've got, actually with 15 players, you can have 3 groups of 5. And I like that because, you're working on your conditioning. You can't go a long time because everybody's still working at, being able to be, able to go for extended periods in a game like manner. So you break it up. And with 3 teams of 5, you always have one resting, one on offense, one on defense, one resting. So whether you're half court, you know, work or your full court work, you get a lot of looks at a lot of different people. So yeah, we're mixing up the combinations and just seeing what we have. We got people that haven't played together before, so that takes a little bit of time. And we're getting exposure to see not only the skill set that each person is bringing to the table, but how well they play with others. There's certain aspects of basketball, like you could go to a playground in any city, and if you got 5 players, hey, let's play. There's certain fundamentals and certain things that go into just playing basketball. So I want to see that the ease with which players can play together, even though they haven't played uh, together before. That kind of stuff. And then just the things that we're working on implementing, for us, defense has got to be way better. And we put an emphasis on that. So I'm looking for those pieces to what we're doing as well. But overall, it's been good. We've gotten to see a lot of different combinations to your question. And, my job has become more difficult because I got to figure out who we're cutting. And I told them, make my job hard.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Owen. Next, we'll go to Akeem.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned it a little bit, but again, with so many players, and I believe you only have 4 players that were in your training camp last year, is it easier to kind of start with a clean slate when you're, again, incorporating people into your system? Or would you prefer to have, more maybe returning players and maybe start from a different point at the beginning of training camp?
Well, ideally, you'd like to have that all in place with veteran players who know exactly what you're looking for. But I think in our case, the free agents that we've bought in are all smart. They're all skilled. They all can easily adapt to the situation, and they have. I'm looking at Lindsey Allen and Danielle Robinson, and you would never know if you walked into the gym as a coach. You would never know that they hadn't been here all along. Kathleen looks good. She's looking very good in training camp. So all of our point guards are providing the leadership and the glue, so to speak, that helps everybody else who's new. Jantel Lavender hasn't begun to play yet. She'll probably begin tomorrow. But Jessica Breland has done really well. So vets know how to adapt and adjust, and we've gotten that. The part that's a little bit difficult is we got a lot of young players, and we're expecting them to pick things up quickly and adjust and adapt. And overall, I think they've done a pretty good job. We've been able to get a lot done in 2 days. I'm real pleased with that.
Thanks, Akeem. Nick Farrell.
Coach, this is Nick Farrell. I'm from Golden Blue Nation in Morgantown. I covered Kysre Gondrezick when she played at West Virginia. Want to know your initial thoughts on her skill set? And then as a general follow-up, what challenges does she or really any rookie on your squad face in trying to find that role in which they can best help you guys this year?
Well, Kysre is a really skilled guard, and she takes a lot of pride in her understanding of the game, her feel for the game. She works hard at the game. And so all those things were evident, first two practices. I think the adjustment that any player, including Kysre, has to make to this level is that, hey, everybody's talented. There's not a bad player in that gym. Okay. So that just makes it challenging and competitive. And, she, along with the other rookies, are seeing a lot more skill and athleticism at their position than probably they've seen at the college level. There are a few college programs that have great depth with people that could play in the league. Like the obvious ones come to mind, Stanford, UConn, Baylor. Okay. Those guys, you expect that they see talent and length and athleticism fairly regularly in their practices. That's part of what makes them good. What I think is making our practice really good is that we've got a lot of talent in the room and they're getting after it. So, I think for all rookies, there's a period of adjustment to understand that you're not going to face a bad player. They don't exist. Okay. There's good players on every team in this league, and that's what it's about. So I think you have to be conscientious and hardworking and focused, and also not let yourself get frustrated, because, the goal of any player is to try to take your strengths away and force you to go to your weaknesses. So, but I think, and specifically in Kysre's case, she's done well. She comes with a complete skill set and a great work ethic. So, she's done fine. She's handled herself well.
Lauren, just how good does it feel to be, around the team and taking part in training camp after, everything that you went through during your rookie season? And how are you in terms of your health right now?
I am completely healthy, to answer your second question. And it feels good just to be here and be able to actually go through training camp. And I kind of felt like a rookie all over again because I didn't really know what to expect.
Jack Allen.
Hey, Lauren, it's Jack with KXXV in Waco. Obviously, the big news around here has been Coach Mulkey's decision to leave Baylor. I was just wondering what your reaction was when you first heard that news. And then also, if you could kind of talk a little bit about your relationship with Coach Mulkey and how she helped you grow your game in college.
I cried a little bit. There was a video on social media that Baylor had posted, and just like all the history and all the championships she's been a part of, that I've been a part of. So I got a little emotional, but she's a great coach, a great person, a great mentor for me. That's going to be one of those relationships that I have for the rest of my life. And I'm going to take things that I've learned from her on the court, off the court, and use them for the rest of my life.
Thanks, Jack. Owen, back over to you.
Hi, Lauren. I'm always curious if players are working on like a specific skill during training camp. Like, is there something this year that you're like, I really want to improve this aspect, or are you kind of doing a more just zoomed out approach where you're just trying to get better at everything?
I think a little bit of everything, and then just making my 3-point shot more consistent.
Got you. And what goes into that? Is that just like reps, like just getting shots up? Or are you working on like form, technique, stuff like that?
It's a lot of reps, and then it's just knowing when I do miss a shot, what did I do wrong? And recognizing, okay, was my hand in a bad spot? Was my hand not under the ball? Did I not follow through? That kind of thing.
Got you. Thank you.
Thanks, Owen. Akeem, you have another one?
Yes, Lauren, you mentioned that you kind of feel like a rookie all over again, but what exactly have you learned about yourself during training camp? I know it's only been a couple of days, but have you learned anything about yourself over this time? And do you know maybe what kind of role the team is expecting you to fill this season?
I think not just the last 2 days of training camp, but just the last couple months for me, I've learned that I can pretty much get through anything. I had the injury towards the end of the season last year. I had COVID before even going to the bubble. So I've been through a lot in the past year. So just resiliency, just getting through anything. And then as far as my role, honestly, I don't really know yet. I don't think, since missing training camp last year, I don't think the coaches really got to see what I can do. So this year, I'm shooting 3-pointers, I'm playing good defense, I'm rebounding, I'm just doing whatever I can to show what I can do.
So just to follow up quickly, is it almost like you maybe have a chip on your shoulder in a way to just kind of go out and prove? I mean, you came in as a very decorated player and you didn't really get a chance to show what you can do. So is there almost a chip on your shoulder that you can, you're finally getting a chance to be healthy and show what you can do?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I've been working hard, really hard this off season. So getting to show what I've been working on, how much work I've put in, that's the most important thing for me.
Thanks, Akeem. Carly Nevis.
Hey, Lauren, Carly Nevis from WDTV in West Virginia. I know you played against Kysre Gondrezick again with Baylor, but what are your early impressions of her in training camp, and what would be your advice to her as she starts her WNBA career?
I think she's done a really good job. The biggest thing for rookies is just adjusting to the speed of the game. And that's with anyone, that's really hard. So she can shoot the heck out of the ball. She can handle it. She can pass it. So really looking forward to see how she does, how she completes this training camp. And then advice is just play your game. You were drafted for a reason, so do what you know how to do best.
Kysre, so just how does it feel to, be going through your first WNBA training camp? Have you had that kind of welcome to the WNBA moment yet?
Yeah, today actually, Tierra McCowan, my teammate, set a screen on me and about knocked me flat. And that was my welcoming. Her presence just off of the screen, we're learning how to guard, screen and roll, getting over the top of the screen. And I would say today that was my wake up call.
Nick Farrell.
Hey, Kysre, it's Nick from Golden Blue Nation in Morgantown. Hope you're doing well. Just want to know what the initial feedback you've received from the Fever coaching staff is about your game. What have they been encouraging you to focus on early on?
Yeah, I just actually had a conversation with Coach. She told me she's not worried at all. Like, I understand that it's an adjustment, and to keep doing what I do well, learning the different pace of this game. Learning the sets. It's training camp, so she's just trying to put in the basics and the gist of, what we're going to be doing during the season, and just being able to read and react off of what she's implementing, and understand that it's a process, and I'm just trying to get better every day.
Thanks, Nick. Owen Pence.
Hi, Kysre. I'm curious if we could rewind back to the childhood years here for a little bit. Like, what got you into hoops, and how soon did you know, like, oh, I got something special?
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. My dad played in the NBA. My mom was a national champion, Louisiana Tech. My grandfather's a Hall of Fame coach. It just keeps going down the line. And I want to say probably in the 6th grade, I got an offer from Vivian Stringer with Rutgers. And I knew, I'm like, okay, I need to take this probably a little bit serious than just for an enjoyment. And it's been good to me. It's paid off for me ever since. So I'm just enjoying the process of it all until I finally put my shoes up.
Yes, thank you.
Keem, you have another one?
Yes, Kysre, just to expand on that a little bit. I mean, again, yeah, your dad played in the NBA. I believe your uncle played in the NBA as well. Just what was it like growing up? Were they putting you through drills when you were like a child, or you said you kind of played for fun? So when did that switch happen when you started kind of training to be a professional almost, instead of just playing for fun?
I was always training on a professional level. Since I was like 6 to 8 years old, he would have us waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, going to Rice University and shooting the ball machine, going straight from there, going to swim practice, coming home and taking a nap and getting right back and going up to the gym with, the Lucas family. Like, it was just a repetitive routine every single day. Until we had AAU or till, we had school ball. That's all I know. And I think just kind of for him to instill that work ethic in me at a young age has led me to this very moment.
And if I could follow up quickly, you mentioned John Lucas. I understand he had a kind of a big hand in your father's kind of journey and helping him kind of find his way. Do you have talk, or did you have talks with your father about just how to overcome maybe some of the struggles that he did in his life?
Absolutely. When you come from a basketball heritage like that, you're surrounded by, a high IQ. You're surrounded by those who have experienced every, obstacle at each level. It's unfortunate, that he's not here for me to be able to ask him questions now that I wish I could, but I have a great team and supporting cast around me that is there to be able to do so when needed.
Got time for two more here. Nick Farrell, you have another one?
Yeah, Kysre, from following you on Instagram, I can tell you're soaking this experience up. But what has it been like the last week and a half off the court, having to relocate, getting acclimated to what it's like to be a professional? How challenging has that been?
Yeah, I mean, truly, it hasn't hit me yet. Everyone keeps on asking me, what does it feel like to be a professional? And, you were the fourth pick and what have you. It still hasn't hit me yet. I'm just kind of I don't want to say going through the motions, but just, showing up and doing the best that I can in my given situation. I don't know when it will hit me, but I'm present. Now, that's the best word that I can say. And I'm just trying to enjoy the experience day by day.
All right, last one, we'll finish up with Carly Nevis.
Kysre, how different are these practices than the ones you've been used to at West Virginia? I feel like getting over a screen from Tierra is a little different than Esmeri or Blessing.
Absolutely. It's definitely been an adjustment, but understanding that it's a process and just, my level of competitiveness and me, wanting to just be perfect, all the time, understand that that's not going to happen in day one or day two. But I have a good, team around me. My teammates have been very supportive. Coach just had a conversation with me. I've had moments where I've done well, and then I've had moments where I look like a rookie, and understand that you have to find that balance. You have to be able to, absorb and embrace both of those moments.
And Lauren was saying that, you shoot the heck out of the ball. So clearly she's seen something in you. Just to play with her now instead of having to guard her against Baylor, how different is that?
Yeah, Lauren and I, we're on the same team right now. We've been on the same team the past couple of days. So I've been a good job just feeding off of her and feeding off of me when I create, get downhill and pass her the ball. That's what I do best at sometimes. And she's been able to capitalize off of that as well. So it's been fun. It's been fun to just kind of learn my teammates and kind of find my way within the system.